So the number one question that I get is, how do I know if I'm psychic? And first of all, we are all psychic. We all have abilities. There's about 8 clairs out there, and there's probably more. They just haven't been coined with a certain name. But, before there was 5, now there's 8. There's all of the things, right? And then I also like to, so first of all, hi, I'm Mara. Welcome. And we're just jumping right in when it comes to psychic abilities. First of all, yes, they are true. If you don't believe in it, I'm not here to recruit you. I'm here for the peeps that really want the deets. Oh, is she rhyming again? It's like my new superpower. Uh-oh. Where did it go, my lovely? Okay, so back at the ranch, right? One of my favorite readers, I used to say that when I was younger, and one of my favorite readers says it all the time now, and it just cracks me up. So anyways, we are going to be talking about how to develop your psychic abilities, how to identify them, because a lot of people don't realize that something they do naturally is something that somebody else has like no clue. Like they're like, okay, someone that can like think around corners, or maybe someone that smells sounds, or something along those lines. There's a lot of wires crossing there when we talk about different senses, and who knows, it could be head trauma as a child, or it could have been in utero issues, or it could be something that's genetic. We don't know. Well, I mean, I believe that the ABC boys know a lot more. But that being said, there are a lot of things that I did not know that people cannot, like you say, imagine a white apple in your mind's eye. There are people that cannot bring an image of a white apple in their eye, right? But somebody says, hey, sniff this and tell me where this child is or whatever. Like, right, I'm not a bloodhound, but some people are, and they can get, right, that's clairgustance, or the olfactory senses, where they can catch a memory, right? Something like where you, I've told people about this the first time I realized, and again, I think it's an amalgamation of different clairs, but when I grabbed onto a banister, I felt pregnant. I got the image like of someone being pushed down the stairs while they were pregnant. So I was in the feeling, so my sentience came up, but I also had the vision of it, but I also grabbed onto something, right? Which, so I guess that's kinetic or clair, I don't know. All of the things, again, these are things that like were put upon me, and I had to go research myself. In fact, people would be very, very surprised to know that I do not engage with a lot of other psychics, or other, if they're a colleague, great. But first of all, psychics are scary. Like, I have had my fair share of learning that just with people that were training me, like, oh yeah, I'm not going to mess with you. And then there's also, there's a lot to it, but I think the biggest thing is knowing what are your gifts? Are you like a party planner, right? People are like, well, what does that have to do with psychic abilities? But if you throw the best events, clairsentience might be like, how do people feel when they walk in here? Are you a person that you like look at somebody and it's not like, oh, I'm taking on their energy or whatever, but you're just like, exactly how they're feeling, or their cadence is just a little different. They come into the office and you're like, what's wrong? Right? That is a psychic ability. That's not just, and here, there's nothing wrong with spiritual gifts, right? There's a list of spiritual gifts in the Bible. But I am talking about an actual 6th sense, 7th sense, 8th sense, all of the things, and how to develop them. That has nothing to do with religion or anything along those lines. In fact, even when it comes to cards, because they are so, I like to teach people when it comes to card divination. Well, I don't even like to use the word divination, because then they think like I'm channeling some blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, I'm just tapping into the vibes, yo. So when I like to teach people about reading cards, it's really about energy. So I will start you off on a card deck that you've made yourself, or the animal deck, or the Lenormand or the Kipper, where they're decks where they're just like, I'm sitting in front of the tree and the tree card falls out. There's a black man walking by and the black man card jumps out. There's a divinator. There is a psychic, pulling card, or there's a tarot reader pulling cards on me, and the tarot card reader, pops out. Wow, people don't want me talking about this. Also, So when we talk about, I need to know, in the community, they'll be like, oh, that's a spiritual burp. No, it is a sign to myself that I am releasing, like it's going through my throat chakra. So you have to understand about chakras too, right? I don't do yoga. I know I'm supposed to, apparently. I know I have to get all my things moving. I just prefer to dance it out versus like cat and cow stretch it out. I know I need to do it, but I'm just saying, like, I am excellent at what I do, and I don't do yoga. It is not a requirement, but there are so many benefits to it. My mind races and I need something, like I need to be listening to something while I'm listening to the music, while I'm dancing and like coloring at the same time with my toe. Like, I don't know. Right. Multitasking is my superpower. So we're just going to be talking about all of the things that can really help you out. So we're going to stop really using the word psychic because it's really flow. Okay. So because there is a, like a, you're not psychic. We're not psychic. There's no telepathy. There's no whatever. Okay. Click off. It's going to be okay, Karen and Chad. Bye, Samantha. But for the ones that know, absolutely, like what's going on, this is something you can totally cultivate. It's something that you can totally get better at. You just need to be able to identify what your biggest clear is, right? It might just be getting a packet of information. You're like, I just get a feeling. Really? That's clear. Well, it depends. If you get like a vision of like what's going on in their life, even though you just met them, you like shake their hand, and all of a sudden you're like, they're going through a divorce, kind of like Christopher Walken back in the day, where he'd like, I think he was playing like a psychic or something like that. He'd like grab somebody's hand and be like, oh, I see a coffee spilling in your future. And then he like swipes the cup and the coffee spills. Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like, how would I know that this person is going through this just by being in their presence? So that would be clear. Gosh, I usually don't use these words. I'm having to use my words. Clear cognizance, right? I just know it. Then there's clear vision, right? So you might have prophetic dreams, right, in your sleep, where you dream something and the next day all of a sudden it's playing out. So deja vu, definitely that's a timeline. Again, we're using these words like, sci-fi words, but it's not. It's just a timeline. Really is like, if you make this decision and you make that decision, right, it splits off. It's like the train on the tracks, right? Like if you've ever been around train tracks, there's a place where like they can be on the same track and it just goes like over, and then the train can go backwards or something. I'm butchering that as well. But it's kind of one of those things where you make a decision and the other person makes a decision, and all of a sudden, boom, you were going to have a baby. Now you decided to abort it and you're moving across the blah, 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 right? Like things happen. That's free will, right? So when we're talking about psychic abilities and all this other stuff, it's just flashes of you getting into the timeline. And so we're really trying to get you into flow. We're not trying to get you into the psychic state where you're like bringing in entities and like, no, that's a whole nother, that's magic. That's right. Like that's dipping into lower vibrational practices. And whether you're a white witch or not, I'm not judging here. I'm just saying I am literally here to help you with psychic, measurable abilities. And people are like, oh, they're measurable. I'm like, have you done your homework, or did you just listen to what mommy and daddy and the sermon on the pulpit, right, like told you, like, oh, women can't have, like, did you know? I'm like, don't even get me on the Bible, because if you haven't, do you know how many books of the Bible there actually are? Do you know why the books of the Bible are in the Bible right now? Do you know how much they're holding back from you when it comes to the Bible? That's what really pissed me off. I'm like, I'm down with the Bible, right? Until some men decided what was going to be it, what I'm allowed to see and what I'm not allowed to see. And do you realize that there are religions out there that the only difference like between like Methodist and Presbyterian is like a comma in a verse, right? Really? And don't get me started on who's picking and choosing. You want to throw some Leviticus and Deuteronomy, some Old Testament BS to me. Well, then you better be going by the law. You better be an Orthodox Jew, right? If you're going to tell me I can't do this, but you're eating the shrimp and you're saying, oh, you can't play with tarot cards, but you're a pit boss, right? Tarot cards actually derived from playing cards. So put your cards down. Stop making your living, right, from card games and everything like that. Gambling, Jesus, in the temple with the gambling, right? And you're coming for me. I'm using your cards. So, like, come on now. Like we can sit, let's throw down, get on your little podcast, which you're like, oh, we're so better than the blah, 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 than the ladies. We're high value men, right? Come to me right? And the women, you're not any better, right? You catty sphinxes using Christianity and like say, oh, I'm modest, but you're not. You're out there like a cat in heat, bending over for rubbing your crotch on people's junk while you're passing them through the pastor, like the lane in the church. Really? I mean, it is unbelievable, but we progress past this. So yeah, your psychic, especially this people like the astrology of this year is just they don't understand and they don't believe in it, and that's perfectly fine because that's when I get to run circles around them, right? I'm like, your ignorance is keeping you dumb, right? Seriously, the presidency, the Hollywood studios, people like CEOs don't make moves if they don't have advice from their astrologers and their psychics and all the other stuff, right? Because it could be a difference of 24 hours of whether you're what's going to go down, right? I mean, who wouldn't ride the stock market if they knew ahead of time what's going to happen, right? Now, when people are trying to make things happen, right, that's when karma steps in. But if you can see it, if you can feel it, also, psychic abilities is all about pattern recognition. You start getting your clairs and you start pulling your clairs in more and more when you start, first of all, opening your mind, getting past your zip code. Really, I'm so incensed with just like racism and bigotry, and like it's just so passe. You're dead to me. Really, because you wouldn't care if we were in Serbia or something like that and there was a bomb shelter and all of a sudden something rained down on us. Would you care, right? If I was a Black woman tending to your child, right? Because of whatever, but like, no, here, because you're sitting around in your churches and your freaking sports teams and all this other stuff, pointing the finger, sitting on your couch, not getting up and doing anything, throwing rocks and hiding your hands, right? So no, I am here to teach people how to manipulate the manipulators, how to bully the bullies, right? The people that are out there using divination the most on you are the ones that are demonizing it the most. And I here am going to help you rip off that Band-Aid, realize that there's nothing, you do not have to. Here's the thing, is the only reason why I know about demons and this, people, they come to me and they're like, hey, I was told I was supposed to do this with you. Do I have permission? I'm like, no, can you just send that back? Or, right? I treat people in the 3D as well as I do in the freaking 5D or whatever D, right? But I don't have to go and pull on things to bring things in, right? I attract. We do not chase. This isn't the secret and all this other stuff. It really is. Let go of the outcome. Let go of other people's opinion of you. Because if you're down and out, they're going to talk shit about you. If you're raising up, they're going to talk shit about you. People are going to talk shit about you no matter what. So you might as well be busting ass, making some money, because the hate train's going to be there. They're going to be like, oh, look at her. She doesn't take care of herself. But once you start, she's so fucking bougie, right? Like, who does she think she is? Oh my God. Like, why would she use her brain? Oh, how dare she use her looks? How dare she use her intellect? How dare she flaunt it on the internet, right? Who does she think she is? Where did she come from? What side of the tracks? What's her family? What did she do? There's got to be something. She must have slept her ways at the top, right? You can't have brains, beauty, intellect, triple threat, even more. Oh my God, right? Like, she must have been sucking cock every which way and whatever to have all of these. What? She must be dancing with the devil while she smokes that devil lettuce and all the other stuff. The things that I'm not afraid to say out loud. This is who I be. Cannabis therapy is all about. You know what? Saved my life. Go fuck yourself. You don't know me. You never took the time to get to know me, right? You don't get the time that like people are so. And here's where we're coming back to it, right? People that project and all this other stuff and start doing, I mean, it's crazy town. Like, you don't like me? You said no, you don't want to sleep with me? I'm going to do black magic on you. I don't like you because you're younger than my daddy and I really want to suck my daddy's dick. So now I'm going to do black magic, get a whole community. Meanwhile, you're actually fucking your mother. Who are you people? Yeah, you want to call me you people? I'm going to call you people because you are derelicts. right? Derelicts, but you are, oh, I'm a good crowd. I'm here on Sunday. Meanwhile, you're like getting it, like gang banging the entire congregation. Come on now. And I got receipts. I won't come out loud, right? But we're just going to wait for the civil suit, okay? Defamation is a real thing. So here's the thing is, this is how you learn to navigate the people around you. And unfortunately, it's kind of sad when you start pulling cards, you're just like, really? And you will pull the same card over and over, like, really? This is the person? This is the what? This is the reason why? Because tarot, again, we're going to stay away from tarot right now. That's a whole system. We're going to talk about cards that are just like, if we're getting into card divination. But we don't have to. Okay, we were talking about, I'm like, oh, you're getting me. You're getting me. All right. I feel like it's time for another video because I want to jump into this excellent segue. Thank you for listening. This is going to be a new series. I'm very excited. I would love to have your comments. I don't throw magic at anybody that doesn't throw magic at me, right? Like, so I'm not here hexing people or whatever. But if you come my way with the fuckery you shall get back. All right. Catch you on the flip. Bye.